This is a presentation from the Catalyst Foundation. My name is Anne Shipley. Let me start by saying that Catalyst Foundation acknowledges and respects the Kaurna people as the traditional custodians of the land we are presenting on today, and their continuing connection to land, sea and community. We recognise the diversity of Aboriginal people and the importance of land, culture and heritage to the elders and their communities. Catalyst Foundation desires to walk together with the Aboriginal community in a parallel on a two-ways journey of cultural and knowledge exchange. Catalyst Foundation is a charitable, not-for-profit organisation and the leading provider of community information in South Australia. We connect people to services and we provide free and independent information to all South Australians. Reach out to see how we can help. Visit us at www.catalystfoundation.com.au, follow us on Facebook or give us a call on 08 8168 8776. So let's start. Before applying to move into a residential aged care home, an approval for permanent care is needed. The first call for this and all other government-funded aged care services is to call My Aged Care on 1800 200 422. A member of the Aged Care Assessment Team, more commonly known as ACAT, will assess for residential permanent and residential respite if needed. The ACAT also assesses people who are looking for home care packages for help at home. For people needing lower level needs from the Commonwealth Home Support Program, they are assessed by a member of the Regional Assessment Service, or RAS. These are the costs that people are asked to pay in permanent aged care. The daily care fee, and everyone pays this fee. There's a means-tested fee that some residents may have to pay. Not everyone pays this fee. There's the cost of accommodation. If a resident has to pay this, it may be as an accommodation contribution or an accommodation payment. Again, not everyone has to pay towards their accommodation. How does someone know if they need to make any of these payments when they go into aged care? The Department of Human Services, through Centrelink, or the Department of Veterans Affairs, will assess assets and incomes. If you are on a means-tested government pension, you do not have to complete the Income and Assets Assessment form. But if you own or part-own property, and that is generally your home, you will need, however, to fill in residential aged care property details for Centrelink and DVA, or Department of Veterans Affairs, customer, and that form is SA 485. It is advisable that if you are receiving a pension from Centrelink or the Department of Veterans Affairs, that if you haven't updated your details in over 2 years, or if there has been some change since you last updated, that you contact either Centrelink or the Department of Veterans Affairs to update your details. Once you have the form, if it's the residential aged care property details, you can ring 1800 227 475 if you have any questions about completing the form. If you do not receive a means-tested income support payment from Centrelink or DVA, you may not wish to disclose your income and assets. The aged care provider then may require that you pay the maximum means-tested fee and accommodation cost. If you do wish to have your means assessed for aged care, the Centrelink form to complete is SA 457. And if you need advice to complete this form, ring 1800 227 $475.
If you own or part own your own home, then the value of that home will not be counted if there is a spouse or partner still living in that home. The value will also not be counted if a carer has been living in the home for 2 years or more. That carer also has to be receiving or is eligible for an income support payment from Centrelink. Also, the value will not be counted if a close relative has lived there for 5 years or more. That person has to be eligible or receiving an income support payment from Centrelink. If you do own or part own your own home, then you do need to fill in the Centrelink form about your home mentioned in a previous slide. The questions about people living in your home, such as husband, wife, partner, carer or close relative, will be asked in that form. The daily care fee is paid by everyone who goes to live in an aged care home. It helps to pay for day-to-day services such as meals, cleaning, laundry. This amount is calculated on the value of 85% of the age pension. This is a set amount that is paid whether people get a pension, part pension, or are self-funded. If one or both members of a couple go into an aged care home, they will then receive from Centrelink or DVA 2 single pensions instead of a couple's pension. The cost for everyone who goes into respite in an aged care home is the same cost as the daily care fee. If an aged care home also charges an extra service fee, this may also be charged on top of the daily care fee. Not everyone has to pay a means-tested care fee. This depends on the outcome of any means test assessment done by Centrelink. If a person has to pay this fee, there is an annual limit on the amount that they have to pay. The year is calculated from the time the person enters care. If this limit is reached within the year, then no more is paid until the next year. There is a lifetime cap, and if this amount is paid, then there is no more means-tested care fee charged to the person. People who were getting help at home from an aged care package provider before they entered care, they may have paid an income-tested fee. Any payments they made as an income-tested fee will be counted as part of the annual and lifetime caps. Accommodation contribution. A person will pay for part of their accommodation. They will be advised of how much they will contribute as a result of the means test assessment. It is assessed as a daily amount and paid to the aged care home, usually on a fortnightly basis. Any money paid this way is not returned to the person if they leave or to their estate. This accommodation contribution can be converted to an equivalent lump sum and paid as such to the aged care home. Any lump sum can be returned to their person if they leave or to their estate. The accommodation contribution can be paid as a combination of a daily amount and a lump sum. Accommodation payment. If a person has to pay for the whole cost of their accommodation, this is the price that is set by the aged care home. The accommodation payment is commonly referred to as a refundable accommodation deposit, or a RAD. This can be paid as a lump sum. Any lump sum is paid to the person if they leave or to their estate. It can also be calculated as a daily amount and paid usually on a fortnightly basis. Any money paid this way is not returned to the person if they leave or to their estate. The accommodation payment, or RAD, can also be paid as a combination of a daily amount, payment and a lump sum.
You have 28 days from the time you enter care to decide what method of payment to make. That is, a lump sum, a daily payment, or a combination of the lump sum or daily payment. Until that is decided, then you will be paying the equivalent daily payment of either the accommodation payment amount or the accommodation contribution. To get an estimate of the costs that someone may need to pay when going into aged care, there is an aged care residential care fee estimator that people may use on the My Aged Care website. Some aged care homes offer a higher standard of accommodation, food and services. The cost for these services is set by the aged care homes that provide these services. This cost is added to the government regulated costs that people are required to pay. People only choose to live in these homes if they want to pay the extra cost. Aged care homes in general offer additional services such as foxtel or hairdressing that people can choose to use to pay or not. People can apply for financial assistance if they are unable to pay some of their aged care costs due to their circumstances. People can only apply if they already have submitted forms and have a means test assessment. The form is called Aged Care Application for Financial Assistance. Financial assistance is not available for payment of extra services or additional services.